So I work about 5 hours per day and make around $50,000 per month at 20 years old, and I'm going to expose how I do it in this video. I'm going to show you how I plan my day, how I structure it for making the most amount of money humanly possible with the least amount of time and effort spent doing so. So just to show you that I know what I'm talking about, because quite frankly, you should not listen to anyone on the internet if they aren't showing you actual proof inside their payment processor. So if I go into Stripe on my phone, you can see that today we've done about £2,300. If I refresh, that's about $3,000. We do about $5,000 per week on this payment processor, which is Stripe. On School, which is another payment processor, we do about $6,000 to $10,000 per week. The reason I'm showing you that is not to brag, right? Let me get this straight. I'm not showing you that to brag. I'm showing you that so you actually listen and take notes. Because if I'm doing something right, I want to share how I'm doing that. I want to be the most transparent guy on YouTube in terms of scaling agencies, coaching offers, and all that good stuff. So let me dive straight into this. You've been lied to. So I don't need to mention any names. If I say these two words, monk mode, you probably know what I'm talking about. And I made that as a joke about a 10-year monk mode. But it's like you don't need to add more things to your routine or your daily action plan. You need to take away the things that aren't working. So if you are spending all day in front of your laptop or computer, then you are probably a bot. Like I was once in your position. I used to actually work a lot harder, but I didn't make any money. Like 2 years ago, I decided to start an agency. I didn't go to university. I had no skills. I was doubtful. I had anxiety. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was working a lot more, but I didn't make any money. So how does that work? How was I working more but making less compared to now? So in this video, I'm going to explain how that works. So let's just say the definition of productivity is defined as output per hour. And in this video, we're going to be talking about 3 very important topics, and make sure you watch all 3 and take notes on all 3 because this may potentially change your life. Now, before we get into that, very quickly, there's this massive buzzword in the space called leverage. Leverage is getting the most output for your time spent doing so. So how can you put in as little as effort as possible and getting the most results? So that is leverage. However, if you are starting out and you don't have capital, you don't have a brand, you don't have this privilege. So I say screw leverage if you're starting out, which may be controversial. I don't care, because what you should be obsessed with is not getting the most for the little time spent. You should just be getting the most. So however you get the most, it doesn't matter. That is what you should be doing when you're starting out, because you don't have clients. You don't have team members asking you for stuff. You have time to be able to get more clients, book more appointments, and that's the only thing you should be focusing on. So you don't need leverage. Let me dive into the first point we're going to talk about today, which is time allocation and calendar schedule, right? So how to schedule a calendar for success. Now, there's a quote that I like, and the quote is, show me your daily actions and I'll tell you where you're going to be in 2 months from now. To know what you need to execute on before the day starts. Most people, they wake up, they have no idea what they're doing, they scroll on Instagram, and they wonder why they're not making money. It's like you're not just going to wake up and have like $1 million in your pocket. Like, it doesn't work like that. As a rule of thumb, if you don't know what you should be doing each day, because I'm actually going to show you my Notion tracker, and I'm actually going to give it to you for free, so keep watching. But as a rule of thumb, where your fear is, there your task is. An amazing quote by Carl Jung. Highly recommend reading some of his books, because naturally the thing that scares you the most is the thing that's going to move the needle and change your life, right? So if you aren't making $10,000 per month, I say screw anything that isn't getting clients and making you revenue. Now, let me explain my thought process behind that, because if you ever get a coach or a mentor, it's important that they explain their thought process behind why they make decisions, why they make assumptions, and why they say what they are saying. Because then you'll be able to solve problems yourself instead of just being a monkey and copy and pasting what they tell you to do. So the only way you get a better product or service is by getting clients. There's no other way around it. It's probably not what you want to hear, but I'm telling you the truth. Because you get clients, you ask them for feedback, you reiterate the product, and then that is how you get a better product. It's like if you're a boxer, you can do as much training as you want, but until you're actually in the ring and the nerves kick in, you're doing your ring walk, it's a completely different experience. So no more building websites, no more scrolling on YouTube. I'm going to show you what you actually need to do to become successful, essentially. So yeah, you need to know where to allocate your time, and that's what I'm going to show you right now inside a free Notion accountability and daily planner that I'm going to give you for free. I'm not selling you anything. This is just to give you guys more value because I want to be really helpful. So if we go inside this daily planner, which you can get, I think it's the first thing in the description. I'll put it somewhere in the description. I don't care if you get it or don't get it. It's just free, so you might as well. But if we look at this, all you need to do in the day is 3 simple tasks. However, like what I was saying at the start of the video, it's not about having a massive day filled with tedious things you hate doing. It's about having a few things that move the needle and actually get you the desired results. So if I was starting out, I mean, you can actually edit this. Once you're inside the tracker, you can edit this to whatever action you want. And this is very dependent on the niche you are helping, right? So if you're working with in-person businesses, and let's just say you're selling them websites and a chatbot, right? To make it simple, hypothetically, you would 100% want to do cold calls, right? That's just, there's no other way around it, right? If you're working with online businesses, so service providers, maybe it's coaches, consultants, info product, even agency owners, you would swap this for content, and then you'd want to go one more level deeper and say what type of content. So it could be one long form video per day, right, on YouTube or whatever. So that is how you add your actions in here. And how this works is it basically gives you a habit tracker, so it's a graph, and you also have progress. So once you tick it off, it shows you what the progress of what you're doing on a weekly level and monthly level, and then you even get a calendar to put your daily actions in, right? So I recommend having a few things in here. It's not about having 10 different things, 3 or 4 maximum. These are actual things that move the needle, and we do the first 2 things in the morning. So if we look at the content and the 60 DMs, you need to edit this as well. So let's call this content. As just a rule of thumb, you'd make it more specific, as I said. So what type of content? Is it a TikTok? Is it an Instagram reel? Is it a YouTube video? Depends on where your niche hang out, I guess. But if you simply click on this, you can see that we have our daily habits right here now. So when you click on, or when you do one in the day, so you can see that it's automatically put the date as July 28th, which is what today is. And you tick the box. So let's say you do this in the morning. You can see that now we've done 25% of the day, right? So all you need to do is do the next thing, then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then you've done 100%. And on a weekly basis, this will actually show you your productivity level, which is amazing, right? So yeah, you can see how beneficial this is. And if we go to the calendar, you can see that today's Sunday, and it's automatically put it into our calendar. So if we want to add it here, and you can see that it's got it here, we know that the 29th, these are what we need to do. And you can change some of these per day. So for example, you could swap this for maybe responding back to emails, but ideally you want just 2 things which are deep work. So for example, making content is a deep work block, and you only need about 2 deep work blocks per day consisting of about 90 minutes each. So that's like what, 3 hours of work. Like that is literally all you need of deep work per day, 3 hours. And then that can seriously get you to 10, 20, even more, right? Because as you scale, you would hire talent, and then you're not as involved in the business, and you can work on it, right? But this is an amazing tracker that I use just to plan my day, and obviously I wanted to give it to you guys because I'm thankful that you watch my videos, and yeah, I just want to give back. So let me go to the next thing, which is my diet and how to have peak cognitive performance. So this will clear your mind. Like, I actually don't eat until 6 p.m. When I say that to a normal person, they're like mind blown. They're like, what the hell? But I'm not going to be normal. That's the difference. Like, for me, one of the biggest things that I've done is when I work, especially in the deep work, be fasted and just be caffeinated. Like, those 2 things will get you dialed in, I promise. Because when your body digests carbs, oxygen is taken from the brain and used to digest those carbs. So it slows down your cognitive function, right? It makes you a bit... Yeah, that's where like mental fog and that kind of thing comes into play. Like, I'm sure when you've had a big meal, you feel like you want to sleep. And that's because the body is digesting those carbs. So if you want more oxygen in your brain to be able to think and have better decision-making ability, then I highly suggest you be fasted for most of the day, or at least the morning when you do those 2 deep work blocks of those 2 tasks. So I'm not a nutritionist, by the way. I do just want to point that out. This is just what's worked for me. But you could very easily just not eat carbs and maybe at lunchtime have like, I don't know, some high protein meal, snack. That's totally fine. I just personally go fasted because I'm I'm just him, basically. I'm joking. But yeah, that is my diet and cognitive performance pretty much summed up in about a minute, 2 minutes, because I didn't want to make it too long, and I am not a nutritionist. This is just what's worked for me. But now let me get into procrastination. So what you'll realize is once you actually put your 3 tasks here that you need to execute on each day, which are non-negotiable, by the way, you'll notice that when you actually come to do them, because anyone can write them in a Notion planner, but how many people actually take action and do them? Not many. So I'm going to show you how to overcome that feeling you get when you come to do it and you feel like there's something pushing you back. That is resistance. And you face resistance when you are closest to reaching a new reality. Now, as I said, you start to feel something kick back because the brain and body does not like change. It likes to regulate its temperature. It likes to be in a homeostasis state, if that's even how you say it. But it likes to stay at, 37.1 degrees or something like that. I'm definitely not a biologist, I can tell you that now. But yeah, naturally, the brain and body like to stay the same. So, of course, you're going to feel resistance. Like, you doing these actions are going to change your life. So, how do you overcome this? So, first of all, just being aware of the fact that these 2 tasks or 3 tasks in the day are actually going to change your life. And when you feel that resistance, you just being aware of it is like, that's enough to solve it. Like, I can't really explain it much simpler, but you'll notice when you actually do these tasks and you feel yourself, I don't know, maybe going onto YouTube or doing another task that isn't as important, like building a website or responding to emails, to tell yourself you're productive, when in reality you're just being you're just getting distracted, and you're like, oh, now I'm facing resistance. But get angry at it, because just get angry at the resistance. I can't explain it any other way. So challenge why you're facing it. 9 times out of 10, I will give you a heads up. The reason you're facing it is because of your fear of failure, rejection, or success. These 3 things. Rejection, once again, comes from your childhood. If you've been rejected hard or bullied, obviously you're going to have a greater fear of it. So it's never actually the task itself. Like, you'll notice that when you fill this out, it's never the task of the content or the 60 DMs or the cold calling. It's never those that scare you, but rather your opinion on how it's going to go or how a prospect is going to react to you doing these actions. That is what is scaring you. So to overcome rejection, which is a massive one, there's a book called Rejection Proof, which basically gives you, so it's just rejection proof, that's how you spell it. My handwriting's appalling, but it essentially gives you 100 things to do on 100 different days to become rejection proof, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. Fear of failure, that's a big one. And it's kind of like, I had this when I started, where I didn't want to execute on the tasks because I was scared that it wasn't going to work out, therefore I'd waste my time. And that's pretty common, right? But what I would say is there's no way you can fail, because if you do these tasks for 2 weeks, a month, and you go hard with them, you'll get data back and you'll know exactly why you aren't succeeding. For example, let's say you book sales calls, and let me just put sales up here to make it obvious. And let's say you track the how many people show up. So show up, how many people you present an offer to, and then let's say your close rate. So you've got show up rate. So let's say this is 60%. So out of 100 people that book appointments, 60 of them show up. Let's say you present your offer to 50, because not everyone you book an appointment with you'll pitch to. And then let's say this is like, 10%. That's pretty normal metrics, right? But then let's say this was 20%. So 1 in 3 people that show up you pitch your offer to. That shows us that the lead quality is bad of these appointments, right? But vice versa, if this was 60%, and then this was, let's say, lower, then it shows us that the show up rate is a problem. So by tracking all metrics, whether it's DMs, content, obviously content, you're lucky because most platforms, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, they track the metrics for you. Cold calling, you should track everything. You should track, right? Because then you'll be able to solve the problem. So it's never the thing itself that doesn't work. It's always you that doesn't work. So that's what I'd say to the fear of failure. Now, Fear of success, I can't relate to that. Sorry, I apologize if you have that problem. But yeah, I mean, the brain is very clever as it likes to stay in the same condition. So it will disguise. So when you do these tasks, you'll probably find yourself doing non-important tasks to make up for the fact that, you tell yourself you're productive, but in reality, these are what you should be doing. So yeah, get angry at the resistance, but just by identifying it, that's really good because now you know that you're close, right? So hopefully you found this video valuable. I'm not a fan of productivity videos. I just realized that I haven't made one in a while on this channel, and I wanted to give some value to you guys as well as the free Notion. So hopefully you enjoy that. If you do, just like and subscribe. Stay tuned. I'm dropping videos pretty much every other day on this channel. And yeah, that's it from me. Follow me on Instagram if you want. I post daily updates on there. Talk to you soon and have an amazing day.